Hey, so I am often asked how I stay warm in my van. What are my heating sources? We'll just get right to the point. I can, of course, turn on my van and turn the heat on, heat up the van, take the chill out of the air. None of the sources that I'm providing you today in a minivan that I personally use are items that I keep on all night long. The reason being is because it's not safe. I'm not going to leave my car on all night long. And number two, my other sources are going to be through butane, and I'll explain that in just a second. But mainly because I like to sleep with my face being cool and being able to breathe, when it gets really cold outside, what I usually do is I'll put a beanie on. So I keep some beanies in the car, and I will also sometimes wear a hooded sweatshirt, and I'll cover that on top of that just so my beanie doesn't slip around all night long and fall off the top of my head. I wear wool blend socks. Being from Colorado, I have slept in 19-degree Fahrenheit weather. I don't like to go below that because that's just way too cold for me. 19 degrees is cold enough. I don't know how some people can tolerate it even colder than that. I can't. I prefer not to. I mean, I can, but I just prefer not to. And then what I'll wear is I'll wear wool base layers, and if necessary, something over that. Like I said, I have hooded sweatshirts. I have a 0-degree sleeping bag in here from Coleman. I'm not crazy about the sleeping bag material, but I do have a 0-degree sleeping bag that's a mummy bag. It's an extra large bag from that Coleman makes, and I believe it's not very expensive. It's like $60 or $70 from Amazon. Coleman one, the extra large, tall Coleman one, gives me a little bit more space to move around. I'm only 5'2". That Coleman sleeping bag is meant for someone that is big and tall, definitely over 6 feet. And so it gives me a lot more room to sleep and move around in. And so I really like that. But I'm not crazy about sleeping bag material. So I much prefer to layer up, put layers on, base layers, wool base layers preferably, and hooded sweatshirt, and then I will throw over I have a white down comforter. That usually will do the trick for me in really cold weather. And then when I get up in the morning, I will either turn the car on. Of course, it takes about 10 minutes to warm up and get some warm air in here. I'll show you one of my other favorite methods here to use in the morning to cut out the chill. And like I said, I do not use these all night not long. They are more to take the chill out of the air. This is why I like to go to areas now, more so being that I am older and more mature. I like to go to areas that are going to be warmer in the cold winter months. I'm going to show you my third favorite and my third source of heat, and my favorite one, which I have been using a lot this season. This little device that I got on Amazon, it's small, compact, doesn't take much space. It just sits on top of my gas one butane stove, so it's already something that I am using. Turn on my stove. It gives me radiant heat. Okay, so it'll heat up the coils in here, whatever you want to call them, and see, it's turning red. It gives radiant heat, and I can control it with my stove, low, medium, high. See, when I turn it off, still heating. It's still, the heat is coming out. And then handy little tongue tool that lifts it up, and you can take it off if it's still hot. But I kind of wait for it to cool down before I take it off the stove. It's only $18 plus tax on Amazon. less space, goes on top of butane stove that I'm already using. I love things that have a multi-purpose. Cracking the window absolutely is a good idea. Carbon monoxide detector. And I do not sleep with any of these things on. I only do it to take the chill out of the air. Candles. Like if it's 40s or 50s and you just want to take the chill out, I have 2 candles in here. They're both 2 wick. When I light both candles, I have 4 wicks going. I like these jars in particular from Better Homes and Gardens. The reason is because it has like protective lip right here. The flame does not go higher than this little lip. Hopefully that helps you guys. These are pretty simple and very cost-effective ways. I do think that you should have at least a couple of heating sources in addition to dressing warmly when you're camping in the winter, because you just don't know what's going to break down and that you would need a backup. And if you like my videos, consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up, hitting the notification bell so that you know when I am posting a video. Also, making a constructive comment, a comment that I can learn from. Share this video if you liked it. So in my small space, that's how I do it, guys. I'll see you on the next video.